Yesterday's rain has now cleared. Today, plenty more sunshine in the forecast, but it turns wetter and windier from the northwest, and it's that winds out as we head through the next few days. All the details of that and more coming up. Good morning, Britain. Yesterday, but that rain has now cleared through. I'll be getting to the weather in just a moment, but first, yesterday I wanted to draw your attention to something that the World Meteorological Organization said, which is that we are looming for a global water crisis. It's such a precious commodity. Only a half of 1% of all water on Earth is fresh water. And in 2018, 3.6 billion people worldwide had inadequate water access for at least a month a year, and that's expected to surpass 5 billion by 2050. And it's climate change that threatens all of us, and water-related disasters like floods and droughts will cost billions every year and cause thousands of deaths. And flood-related disasters rose 134% compared to the previous 2 decades. The number and duration of droughts increased by 29% over the decades compared to the 2 decades before, most of those in Africa. Because as temperatures rise, it causes rainfall around the world to change, and it has huge impacts on food security, health and well-being. And we now know that a quarter of the world's population will live in water stress, meaning there's not enough water to meet demand. And this is something that will be addressed in this big climate conference, COP26, that's coming up in Glasgow next month. Now, weather-wise, yes, things for us are drier, brighter as we head through the day today. Yesterday's rain will have cleared through, still windy in the east, but much more in the way of sunshine. So this is how it looks at the moment. Cloudy skies and rain for eastern areas. That will clear through, but the winds are northerly, and that brings with it a strong day of wind. So 40, maybe 50-mile-an-hour gusts of wind here. That will moderate and ease through the day as the rain clears. And then for much of Scotland, Wales and England, plenty of sunshine, drier, brighter compared to yesterday. A little bit warmer as well, highs of 17 before it turns wet and windy from the west later. Charlotte. Good morning to you. Today's weather is drier than yesterday. The heavy rainfall caused flooding through parts of northern England. Some very, very devastating scenes with huge amounts of rainfall in a really short space of time, thanks to this area of low pressure. But it's now cleared through. A weak ridge of high pressure builds in from the south, and it's that tries its hardest to keep weather fronts at bay, and it keeps it away from England and Wales, but it turns wetter from Scotland and Northern Ireland. And we see the isobars close together as we head into the weekend. That means it's set to turn windier. But the outlook for today is plenty more in the way of sunshine, but we will see some rain moving in across the northwest, and it still will be windy in the east with a legacy of yesterday's weather front, which is slowly clearing away from East Anglia. So these eastern coasts cloudier, chance of some rain this morning, strong winds down the east coast 30 or 40 miles an hour, but that will clear away as we head through the day. Then some decent sunshine across most of England, Scotland and Wales. But from the west, the next weather front moves in, bringing cloudy skies, outbreaks of rain. And this is a warm front, so it brings murky conditions in the west, but it will bring a climb in temperatures as we head through the next few days. So let's take a look at our 7-day outlook for Scotland, Northern Ireland and northern areas of England. Looking at our temperatures first of all. Today it is cool, but we can see temperatures climb from tomorrow onwards, and it stays around about or just above average for most. Looking at our percentage chance of rainfall, this is the likelihood you are to see rain through northern areas through the next few days. Largely dry today, but weather fronts for northern and western areas as we head through the end of the week into the weekend means particularly these northern areas looking a little wet, but then drier as we head into next week. Fortunes further south for England and Wales for the next 7 days. Well, again, temperature-wise, no great shakes for today. A little cool, but tomorrow onwards, our temperatures climb. We could get a high of 21 degrees tomorrow. Staying mild as we head through the weekend, but then cooler as we head into next week. Percentage chance of rainfall, well, that high pressure does its job. It remains largely dry. Some decent sunshine as we head through the next 7 days. Just a note for Andy, if he sailed west, he would get to Canada and not America. Just saying. OK, hopefully I'm correct and Andy is wrong. Anyway, let's continue with the weather with many more truths and no lies. And yesterday, it was a wet one. Yesterday, we talked about the flooding across southeastern areas of the UK. We had torrential rain across northern areas. We had lots of flooding. There was more rain that fell in the day yesterday than for some areas in the whole of September. Some seeing the entire month worth of rainfall in just one day. That rain is now clearing away from the east. We're in between weather fronts for today in the south with sunshine, but more wet and windy weather is set to move in across the northwest. Then, as we head into the weekend, high pressure tries its hardest to build in from the south with low pressure further north, and it's the high that most likely is set to win out. But for today is a story of dry, brighter conditions, plenty of sunshine around, but rain moves in across the northwest later. But first of all, we have to get rid of this weather front in the east. It's bringing cloudy skies, still some rain through East Anglia, and a windy one to start this morning as well. Gusts of 40 to 45 miles an hour. Scotland, much of England and Wales, dry and bright, particularly compared to the horrendous conditions we had yesterday morning. Before we see that weather front moving from the west, and this is a warm front, and it's set to bring with it milder air from the southwest, so it turns increasingly cloudy overnight tonight and a bit of a grey, misty, murky start to our day tomorrow.
You know, there is an enormous amount of people trying to get to hospital to see their relatives. This is an interesting development over at the Louis Vuitton show. What would you
be saying about the Interlake Britain? It's doing it to the right place at the right time. They're talking about the fashion industry and doing it with the fashion, but it's all about the amount of water that is used for the garment, our dress, and actually the hire market is really, really massive. We have a £400 dress that costs £9 to hire a day. So, you know, it's very easy to have new clothes, but to do for you.
Oh,
there we go.
Amazing.
And you can press the button. If we could just get the auto off so we can see the picture, that would be wonderful. And go ahead.
I'm Jimmy, I'm doing the weather. There you go.
Click again one more time.
OK.
Just stand, maybe this side.
Some people are in a puddle. That'll be wet. Happen. It's blowing. That will blow over to the west as well.
And here's Charlotte with the latest headlines.
I know, I thought he was about to do the news headline. Much more sustainably. And the good thing